And speaking of AI, it's being marketed as a miracle tech solution capable of pairing families with adoptive children. But various analyses say the AI tool employed by Family Match is actually falling short of its lofty guarantees, namely successfully identifying lasting homes for vulnerable children and teens. Let's bring in now the ways in which this new AI algorithm potentially missing the mark. We'll bring in Connie Going, CEO, co-founder of the Adoption Advocacy Center, and an adoptive parent of 2 teenage boys. Connie, thank you so much for being with us. There were really a lot of high hopes for this technology, but what really seems to be the biggest takeaway so far from this Family Match?
Well, as far as Family Match, we have not found it to be essential in increasing adoptions. And I think that we're always hopeful for new tools. As a social worker and a caseworker over the years, over 40 years, done thousands of adoptions. And this tool gave us a lot of hope, but gave us false hope. A lot of the families thought if they registered, they'd be matched. It seemed to take credit across the board for many of the adoptions that were happening within the states that were not actually, I mean, it takes a team to do an adoption, and it's not the answer to a system that is very fractured right now.
And Connie, why is it that it doesn't seem to be working? Because we know, so many states are opting to just scrap it altogether. Do we know why it's not working?
Well, I think it's flashy. I think it sounds good. It sounds good. But the thing is that it doesn't really know the families. And the caseworkers are struggling to know the children, and you can't put those two things together at this point until we know the children that sit in foster care every day, and there are over 100,000 of them in the U.S. right now. We don't know that. We don't know how to match them. My son, who is now my son, had over 10,000 inquiries when his story went viral.
Wow.
They gave him one family, and these were social workers. They gave him one family. It fell apart, which was national news. And then he asked me, because he had known me most of his life through the system, to adopt him. And even then, I don't think people really knew the child and the man that he was going to become. These are things that take deep skills. And if the caseworkers are putting the children in and they're looking for the children and these families, it's a home study. It's a piece of paper that a social worker comes out and assesses, but the families are taking a checklist about the things they like. It really is deeper than that. The things that go the distance, it hasn't impacted our dissolution rate in adoptions, which, believe it or not, we is around 18 to 20, we suspect. It's very hard to track.
Wow.
And so these children wait every day for a family. We have to be real about what's working for them.
Right. And, and we were talking about, some of the most vulnerable children, really. Adoption certainly is so nuanced. You say that it's very deep. It requires deep skills to match children with families. Is that something that can be done by AI? Is that just, it's something that has to be done by real people?
I think it has to be done by real people. If there's a tool that AI can bring to the table to be part of that team that is effective, then I would say yes. I mean, we're always open to improving things. I'm an old-time social worker. I wrote everything down. I learned how to use computers. I moved along with it. I think there are things that can be done, but I don't think that this is the answer, which is what it was sold to be.
Mm-hmm. And do you think what maybe would be some of the ways that this technology could be used, maybe not this technology specifically, but maybe a way to help, to better make some of these matches successful?
Well, I think if it paired with training, I think I would rather see it used to look at adoptive families and look at their strengths, look at their different needs, and really kind of not just a checklist, but somehow give us the things that make a family resilient for a certain type of child. It's not about the matching. I don't think that we even begin to know these families. And I think that until you don't want that to happen at the adoption, you want that to happen, given beforehand. So, just because a family, goes to church or doesn't go to church, or, believes a certain way or does certain things, or homeschools or doesn't homeschools, those are not really the main factors. I think we know things like flexibility is important, structured boundaries, but with some flexibility. I mean, there's just so many social workers who've done this a long time, and adoptive parents. That's where you learn a lot.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.